Hi everyone, welcome back to episode number 21, and it's the 21st today. Today is a special day because it's a solar eclipse today around, I think it starts around 1:30 or something like that. I made Debbie, my sweet wife, a viewing box out of you can find it online. It's just a box. You put a little viewing hole in it. You make it all light fast. You put some white paper at the far end and a pinhole at the front. You stand with your back towards the sun, and the light goes through that little pinhole, and you can see the solar eclipse safely on the back. Anyways, I've been wanting to make one since I was a kid, so I made that, and who cares? Anyways, I just don't want her beautiful little green eyes to get burned. Anyhow, so we're back in the cornfield today, and we're going to continue in the spot that I was at last week. I got permission, so hopefully we're going to find something, and if we do, we'll get back to you. If we don't find anything, you'll never see this intro. It's murder walking through these cornfields. I think the temperature today is plus 30, and the humidex is way beyond that. And sometimes you have to ask yourself, why do you do these things? But then you find something like this, and you realize this is why. Where is it? There it is there. I think it might be a little button. I'm not sure. It's ringing up pretty solid. Actually, you know what? It looks kind of like looks like it's silver. It does look like it's silver, but it was ringing low. Well, it was ringing at 37 anyways. Let's take a look, see what it is. Well, there it is right there. I haven't cleaned it off yet, but I did notice it's got a hole, so it's not a button. It's a very small coin. What's that say? Is that American half dime? It's got a hole in it. I think this might be an American. Is that a seeded dime? Yeah, there's stars around that. Oh yes, look at that. Oh my goodness. I think it's a seeded half dime, and they put a hole right through Lady Liberty's friggin' head. And I did not do that. Right there, I dug that thing out. Well, let's clean it up a little bit better and take a look. Well, it looks like you're going to be seeing that intro after all. This is a Hold 1853 U.S. Seeded Liberty half dime. Now, regrettably, not me, because I dug around it, you saw me, but the cultivator must have nailed that when he was working the fields up. Too bad. 1853 with arrows down the bottom there. That is a great find, man. I'm really stoked about this. I'm glad you were here to witness it. I'm afraid to look. Is the sun doing its thing yet? Is the partial eclipse started? I don't want to look. Danger my eyes. I'd rather be looking down. Down right there. Right there. Do you see that? That is another silver coin. It's very small. And it is is that another seeded half dime? Hold on for a second. That's pretty extraordinary, because that's never found two seeded half dimes in a day. I got my foo-foo juice out. The hunting is terrible in here. That is a seeded dime. It totally is, and it's got arrows. You see that? Holy mackerel. This one doesn't have a hole in it. My goodness. Does it have a hole in it? No, it doesn't. It's just a little bit of dirt. Look at that. I can't make the date out. 18, I don't know what it is, but it's got arrows on the side of it. I'll take a better look and I'll get back to you. Well, there it is. It's a 18 something 4. I don't know. It's 1854 or 1834. I'm not really too sure, but it is a nice find nonetheless. And there is the other one, a double seated day. Awesome. Awesome. There they are, glinting in the sunlight of the soon-to-be eclipsing sun. The eclipse should be starting right about now. Well, it's been a week and we're back in the cornfield. And the first thing I found was this, my carrot, which fell out of my pocket, out of my holster. And I had to go back through the freaking cornfield and find it. I've also lost a cell phone in this field too, but I found some good stuff, so it all evens out in the end. Anyhow, this is where I think the old railway camp was. I found two 1853, 1854 American half dimes in here, and I think we might be onto something, hopefully. It's been probably about an hour, and I just pulled this nice skeleton key out of the ground. It's too bad it's mangled. It's got a beautiful green patina to it. The tip's knocked off here, and the end is a little twisted. I don't think I'll be able to straighten that out. Other than that though, not too shabby. That's a bummer right there. Would have been a really nice Conestoga bell. What a shame. Oh well, that's what happens when you're in this hard clay. I'm finding quite a variety of stuff at this site. I'm not quite sure it's the fabled railway camp that I've been looking for, but I just dug up this really cool heel plate with a heart on it. Look at that, eh? It's a little bit bent up. However, it's in really good shape. It almost looks like it was nickel plated at one time. Why would you do that? I know these were fashionable in the 1860s, which is a little bit after the supposed date of this railway camp. And the reason I call it a railway camp is because there's a trestle not too far from here, and I was always told that the laborers, they're a bunch of Irish Americans, that they camped out in this field when they were making the trestle. And a buddy of mine found an old rusted out Derringer in this field probably about 40 years ago. So, but that's a good find right there. So I'm trying to get this thing out of the ground here. It almost looks to me like it's a hatchet with there's got a what the heck is that? That looks like a hatchet. With a what the hell is this? I don't know. That's a hatchet. That's some sort of a weird hatchet that's been hammered. Holy crap. That's what it looks like. I've never seen one before. Maybe it's a railway tool. I don't know. Interesting. This thing gave off a real crappy signal, but it's two-piece button. It's got a glass inlaid flower. I think it's black. And then the outside of it, I can't quite tell. what it is, but it gave off a really, really low tone. So I didn't expect to dig that up. That's cool. Still haven't found any coins yet, but I'm not giving up. There's still lots of area to hunt. Well, that's it for today's hunt. I've had my fill of corn leaves and giant spiders, and I think I'm just going to call it a day. Didn't find any coins. That sucks. But I did find some interesting artifacts. So I'll have to come back to this field again sometime, maybe in the fall or next spring, and see if there's anything else to be found. I don't really think that this is a railroad camp. I mean, I found a lot of pipes and stuff, but I didn't really find anything that made me think that there are hundreds of men camping here. I think I would have found a lot more stuff. So that just means I'm in the wrong field, and that the mythical or legendary Great Western Railway labor camp is yet to be discovered. So once I get out of this field, I'm going to do a roundup, and then I'll get Alicia to post the video on YouTube. Thanks for coming along. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll just give you a bird's eye view of the shit I'm going through. I'm back. Video's not quite done yet. I was just driving past one of my spots where I've had lots of success over the years, and I noticed that they've put drainage tile all through it. So I thought I'd stop. They also filled the trenches with chicken shit, so it really stinks. But I think I just dug a coin. Let's take a look. Can you see that right there? That to me looks like a coin. It is a coin. What type of a coin is it? I'm not going to put it in my mouth. I'm not going to put it in my mouth, but I'll clean it up. Let's take a look. Well, it's an old copper. It's thin. Your guess is as good as mine what it is. I'm going to have to clean it up a little bit more and shine a flashlight on it. But it is an old copper. That's pretty cool. Well, would you look at that sexy little pin? Would have had like a glass stone in it at one time. But it's all pretty much there. There's all sorts of crazy shit that's turned up in this field. It's very fortuitous that I came by when I did. Here comes Ida, coming up the steps. And where do you think you're going, Ida? You better not be going to the garden. That's exactly where you're off to. You're gonna go over and eat some bugs out of the garden. Bye, Ida. We're not here to look at chickens. We're here to look at all this cool stuff that I dug up over the last couple of hunts. Let's start down at the end here. A neat old, I would guess, Victorian brooch. Would have had stones in it. Probably not stones, glass. It would have been like costume jewelry, but it would have been really pretty, actually. The stones are gone. It was gilded at one time. I couldn't find any maker's marks on it. Gave off a nice signal. This key would have been absolutely beautiful if it hadn't been mangled by the plow, the cultivator. I've only ever found 2 keys. That is a weird looking bug. Look at that thing. That thing looks like it could sting. I'll just leave it alone. But a nice key nonetheless. It's got a very pleasing color to it. A very nice patina. And here we have a heel plate. Second one that I found. and it almost looks to me like it was nickel plated. You see right up there. It's a pretty good shape. I found 2 of these so far, and I believe that they date to the mid 1800s, 1860s maybe. They come in a variety of different patterns, but I've only ever found heart ones. Here we have a very badly smashed up brass thimble. Really smashed up. These things here, I almost think these might be buck and ball. I don't know if these are pistol balls. I think that this is, I think they call them buckies, buckshot. Oh, you can see my nice wedding ring. I got married this summer to Debbie. A couple nice little bucky balls. This one here, it's a 69 caliber. And I know this came from an old site, but not like, probably mid 1800s, not early 1800s, but who knows how it got there. There's a site near this site where I dug up a number of these, and I know that the habitation dates to the early 1800s, so maybe this came from the same fellow. He was just out hunting and shooting at something and missed. It's a nice one. I like finding those. Cool little brass button with a black glass flower. No shank. Shank's gone. But that's a cool little button. Then I found this. It's another Henry casing. Little rim fire. You can see where the firing pin hit the rim. And I always thought that Henrys were, they just had rifles. But I look at how small this thing is, and I wonder if they maybe didn't have pistols too, because that looks small for a rifle. Incidentally, all this stuff, except for that creepy bug, came from a spot where I believe there was an old railway camp. I'm still not entirely sure about that. That all-iron tomahawk that I found, somebody told me that was used on a locomotive. A brakeman would use it. They would go along and they would be smacking things to loosen them up. I don't have it here right now because I'm getting all the rust off it, but that could be what it is. It's really heavy, and obviously it was meant to be hung up immediately after use. You wouldn't be carrying it around with you through the woods or out in the pastures or anything. So maybe I did find the old railway camp. You know, in that case, I've been told that prostitutes used to wear these things, little hearts on their heels, so that clients could find them, follow their footprints, and recognize what their trade was with the heart, and that they would follow them back. And I did find a lot of pipes and porcelain buttons in there, so I'll have to get back in after the fall. I can't walk through those cornfields anymore. It's too much work. But it does pay off. It pays off in dividends. And this is the other reason I thought that it was maybe a railway camp, because I found these 2 little guys. This one here is 1854 seated American half dime. No makers or no mint marks, so that'd be Philadelphia. This one's interesting. Look how the date kind of meets the very bottom of Lady Liberty's gown. Normally there should be a gap in there, but there isn't in this one. It just totally flows from the date right into her gown. Unlike this one here, 1854, you can see that there is at the bottom a little gap between the gown, and the, oh no, this one's 1853. Sorry, the other one was 1854. And you can see where there's a little gap in there. This one, somebody must have been wearing this around their neck, because they really did center that hole quite nicely. And I found those one after another, which was pretty cool. It's only ever happened to me once before. One of the very first times I ever went out, I found a a seeded dime and a seeded O dime, which came from New Orleans, which was fantastic. Although at the time I didn't know what it was. And then I found a half dime. It was 1853, I think, or something. They all had arrows on them anyways. And then last but not least, this little copper here, which at first glance and at second glance, when you look at it, it really doesn't look like much, does it? However, this is a very special copper coin. I'm going to get my flashlight out here and show you something. Sorry for all the movements. There we go. Now, can you see, where is it? Oh, you can't see it because I think it's on the other side. There it is. Can you see the 1833 right there? 1833. Well, that is a Bank of Upper Canada halfpenny token, and on the other side, which you cannot see because it's quite worn, but there is in fact a ship which is pointing towards my flashlight, and around the end it says, what the heck did it say again? Upper Canada for Commerce or something like that. It's an 1833 Upper Canada halfpenny token, and it's unique. I've found a lot of Upper Canada half pennies and penny tokens, but I've never found one like this. Yeah, so that's a first for me, and somebody on Instagram told me that they're not a common thing to find. So I was pretty happy about that. Tomorrow, Father Time and I are going back to this site here to see if we can't dig anything else out. And we're going to hit a couple other spots too, so that'll mean another awesome video. What do you think of that, Machine? She doesn't care. Anyways, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. And don't forget to comment and like, and maybe tell some other people about it. I think I'm up to 135 subscribers now, which is pretty good, I think. Anyhow, that's it. All the best. Talk to you later.